we're sitting down, we're having a great dinner. We're just going back and forth. We love talking about the gospel. We love talking about the gospel. But then she goes, I gotta admit, there's some moments in the Bible where it's like kind of hard to swallow that God would do something like that. And I was like, yeah, of course. I go, but what point are you talking about? Like, well, Abraham. So the story of Abraham, for those of you guys that don't know, God was testing a man's faith named Abraham. And back in the day, before Jesus Christ was crucified, and this is why they called him the Lamb, in the Old Testament, they would kill lambs for their sins. So the sins would be a way to be washed. God would ask them to sacrifice a lamb. It was a sacrificial type of obedience to God. Why they had to do that is because the blood washes away the sins. The story that she had a hard time understanding, she goes, God loved this man named Abraham, but then asked him, take your son up to here and sacrifice him. Well, God steps in and doesn't let him do that because there's a ram there. I asked her, I go, what's so hard about that? She goes, I don't know, man. Like, asking somebody to take their son, George, their son, and kill them for your sins. And I go, yes, it's hard to understand, right? It's hard to digest that. And I go, but isn't it gracious that God stopped him, had an angel grab his wrist and say, don't touch the boy. In fact, there's a ram stuck in a thicket bush, and around the ram's head is thorns. And Belle goes, oh, like Jesus. And I go, yes. And I go, but you just said how hard it was for you to ask a man to lay down his son's life. They technically deserved it. They did the sin. The sin, when you sin against God, it goes to death. Something has to pay it. God was merciful to let the ram be there. But you have such pain in your heart when you're asking, how could God ask this man to lay his son down for sins? And that's when I said, but that's what Jesus did. God sent his only begotten son down, his only son, to lay his perfect life down for the iniquity that we have caused. Abraham deserved to lay down his son's life for the sins that they carried. When I first came into this realization, there's a form of guilt where you're like, I can't even believe I doubted my God. And when I watched Belle sit there and register her thoughts and her heart felt the guilt, and this girl breaks down in tears, destroying her makeup, destroying everything, doesn't care about a single thing besides the guilt that she had in her heart for even questioning why God would ask Abraham to do that.